Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. Today I'll be showing you a preview of the second awakening of the giant. Okay, so let me quickly log into the game. Okay, there we go. Right, so giant, SSR unit for tower. I know people are not happy with tower getting another boost. Let's hold our horses before we judge the developers. I believe this is actually a bad thing happening, not because tower will get stronger, but because other factions will get delayed. Okay, this is my main take on it. I've done some tests before. Some of you might have seen Hayes' video as well. Um, so yeah, let's see that awakening. Okay, so obviously the caster form is getting boosted. It will do quite a lot of damage, and there's also an HP lock on the caster version. And the second awakening will be altered awakening. That will be a war giant, which is a defensive unit, also with HP lock and skills that grant a lot of unit damage reduction and shields and stuff like that. Obviously, this unit does not have his partner, which will be Guardian Golem, released later on. That will be an offensive tower unit, so he will become a little bit stronger than he is right now. But let's just quickly jump into the testing. For I've seen the video with Naga's giant attacks, yeah, it's not bad. But the thing is it worth getting? Okay, because as you know, on the test server, I maxed out these units, so you'll be able to see the highest potential of the Titan. Okay, anything below might not be as good. Right. So what I'm running on the Thunder Giant emblem is +5 sets of Path of Assassin with an old set of Wall of the Knowledge. You could run Wall of the Knowledge as well, utilizing free caster buffs with Sister and Judy. It wouldn't change too much of the damage output, but Path of Assassin, I've been using it and it's not bad. Obviously, this is a choice for the spenders. It is quite easy to level that up. When it comes to the tank version, I'm using +3 legals and Gear of Time. You could swap it and use Gear of Time and then legals on top or something else if you can't afford uh, another set of legals. But this is pretty much it. Okay, nothing fancy here, but the power of this unit is quite high because it is an SSI unit. So as you can see, power wise, this unit is quite high compared to everything else. I think only Naga is on similar power. The other units are quite low. Righty, so another thing I'm gonna show you before we move to the tests, how these units perform in battle as stats. Okay, so the defense wise is quite good. Don't get me wrong, HP, that is a lot of HP and quite high attack as well for defensive unit. So yeah, that's quite interesting. Let's compare it with that. Okay, so double the HP of the Dragon Golem. Hey, oh, is it almost the same defense and much more attack? Okay, so the stat wise, he's quite good. So yeah, I would say he's quite cool. Okay, so my goal today is to see if he giant can fit into the team of Dartmouth. Okay, so that's the thing. This is the very common formation for Dartmouth when using range Naga, and this is a very common team when using offensive Naga. Right here, I got Seraph at 6-star, fully maxed out, similar to the Giant, which I don't have on global, so I'm not using that formation because my Seraph is quite low. So keep in mind this unit might not be utilized by most of us, but some people run it. Okay, and this is the most common. So as you know, range Naga and offensive Naga can be both used. More people are leaning toward the range Naga right now, and I just switch it around myself. So this is the first thing that I'll do. We'll try to fit in both defensive and range version of Titan into the team. Another thing I'll try is fighting against Alamar, because at the moment Alamar is the only hero that can stand up against Dartmouth. There's no other hero that can put up a fight to her, so I will not be testing against any other hero. Uh, they just need to wait for tests on the global for that, because I don't see point of that. I'm not sure if Hate actually done it. If he did, then you obviously can refer to his video as well to see other setups, but I don't see a point of doing that, as I know this basic formation wins, so adding Titan might not change the outcome. Okay, so yeah, this is it. As you know, this is the standard team. Let's just quickly run a simulation of that fight and see how it is ranged against offensive Naga. Obviously, this is just like a mock, so don't worry about it. This does not prove anything, which team is better. I just want to see the outcome, because then I'll be switching around. I believe the skills have been released on the Facebook as well, so I'm not going to read through them as that takes a lot of time. But what I'm going to do from now on, I'll try to release a video before the stream, like a quick summary if I got time, because obviously it depends if I had time to do the test during the week. As you can see, okay, so which team won? The offensive Naga team has won in that scenario. Yeah. So let's do that. Okay, so let's try and beat the offensive Dartmouth first. Let's use Giant. Okay, so as you can see, this is the formation. The only thing that makes sense is booting Seraph and playing the defensive Giant. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is actually I should have swapped that. Okay, but never mind. Okay, so what I'm going to do first, I'm going to utilize him as an off tank, so basically a buffer. Let's say you don't have Seraph at that level, but you've been saving up for a Giant and you want to make him work in your team. Okay, so let's try replacing Seraph. Just like me, for example, I don't have Seraph at that level, but I can get Titan to that level. So I want to see if that makes sense for me to actually put him in my team and if I get a better result or not. So he's here, as people said, quite cool look. Basically, I really like how he looks. So let's see. Okay, quite one-sided fight. Did not really bring anything to the table against the offensive variant. The fight was even finished even faster than that. Yes, Tal, I'll change that around. Okay, so first I wanted to just replace Seraph and stuff like that. Don't worry, I'll do quite a lot of simulations here. So as we can see, 40 seconds. Okay, Naga, range Naga here. So we lost. Okay, quite one-sided. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna move Titan to the main tank, because obviously DG is suffering at the moment. Okay, so still Seraph is out, and this is what we're gonna do. And let's see. Okay, so just going to speed it up a little bit so I can do more fights during this stream. Okay, this also tells us how good he is when facing against Naga. Okay, so obviously different seed, and this time we won. Okay, so it can work, as you can see. War Giant 74 survived Naga, offensive Naga in that scenario, so that's quite cool. Archer Naga obviously quite high on the damage, similar with Arcane Eagle. So yes, we can win that case, which we couldn't with Seraph, and we couldn't with different formation. Okay, so that's quite cool. But let's say you want to move Paladin to a different team. Uh, Obviously, what I'm going to do now makes no sense, okay? Because if I move in Paladin to the next team, that means I will be probably using Seraph there as well, right? But since there's no Light Dragon yet, and this is another unit that I'll probably try and fit into the Dartmouth, so once it gets released, you can guys look for these videos, okay? But let's say, okay, let's move Paladin because you somehow miss a tank for your third team, for example. Okay, so you want to utilize Paladin in your third team, just like me. Okay, because that was my thought. Drop in Paladin and move it somewhere else. Okay, let's see how it performs. Not bad. Okay, so we can take down that Dartmouth. So it says it's working. Okay, adding that against another Dartmouth that still runs offensive Naga can yield us a victory. Okay, so that's quite cool. Seraph and Paladin both work. Okay, uh, obviously you could play around with this formation. You could actually drop that and add a third healer like IP, which will make it a way better team. But there's no point of me doing that right now, because that's not the thing. Okay, so it works. Okay, he is quite good. Let's just do it this way, and let's put Dragon Golem, who is a much worse tank, against Naga and see how that performs as well. And then we move to testing against range Naga, because obviously all I've done so far was against melee Naga. So I'll switch the formation of the Dartmouth on the defensive side, and I will use a range Naga in here and still test that. Then I'll do the test against Alamar, and once I do that, I'll test the range version as well. Because yeah, it's worth mentioning that. Okay, so we lost. Okay, so definitely he is doing better as a tank into the Naga, the offensive Naga, because he keeps the team, and so far we won when he was in here. Right, so yeah, let's revert that change. Let's put it. Okay, so we were back in the beginning, and now we're going to play against a ranged Naga formation. Both of these Nagas use the same emblems and are at the same casting. Okay, so they're very similar here. Right, so this is what we want to beat now. Okay, and I'll also suggest doing something like that on global. Let's keep it the way it is. Okay, so again, this is what we're going to play. Okay, so I was playing with a range Naga here, so I'll need to switch that to offensive Naga as well eventually. So as you can see, there's quite a lot of things to do. But I'll try to do it, guys. Okay, I'll try to do these Dartmouth formations until half past, and then leave half an hour for Alamar as well. Because obviously I only have 1 hour to fit everything on, and there's a lot of like downtime as well. So yeah, let's keep going with it. Just hope I don't lose a train of thought, basically. Okay, so we lost. I was expecting that because obviously it's very similar to Dartmouth. Okay, we lost with the other Dartmouth as well. So let's do this. Okay, let's put him in here, and then we drop Paladin and put Seraph in. The reason I am actually doing that against Dartmouth is you'll be facing different Dartmouths. Let's be honest, all the top players play either Dartmouth or Alamar. At least one of them. Some play two. Those who can afford. So you will be facing these different variants of Dartmouth, and I just want to see if it's actually worth replacing any of these units. Okay, so we lost again against the range Naga formation. Okay, so let's put Paladin and put in Seraph. Yes, Adrian as well, but I will not test against Adrian as the current Dartmouth just demolishes it. Okay, so as we can see, Seraph's utility is still very important, as putting in Seraph and replacing even Paladin, his utility is great, yielded a better result, and we were able to actually win. Okay, but let's just do one more here. Let's just change that. Let's see if it's just because the Titan is actually a little bit more tanky in that kill line here. Okay, so one more, and then we're doing the offensive Naga variant with the Giant. Okay, let's see how impactful that is for the offensive Naga. Because it's offensive Naga is still my favorite version of the Naga, and I just recently changed to the caster one because I was starting to losing against enemy Alamar on my team. Okay, so yeah, it works. Definitely putting in Seraph, a maxed out Seraph. Don't get me wrong, this is a maxed out second awakened Seraph has better results against this range Naga formation of the Dartmouth. Okay, so utility of Seraph is still decent in that team, but some of us don't have Seraph. We can't afford both of them. So yeah. Right. So that was the range Naga with the boy here. Huh? So now we go in with the melee Naga and bring back Paladin. Okay, and that is against the range Naga. Let's just start with the range Naga here since we're doing that, and we're gonna play offensive at the end. Right. So off tank, obviously can't put that here because that Naga will jump behind. So this is what I'm doing, and then I'll put it in as a main tank, so we'll see that result as well. Okay, so we lost. Let's see the fight. Okay, not bad. Basically, the first half an hour of the stream will be for tower enthusiasts. Okay, so this is what we can do. Let's do that. Let's see if that's an improvement. Okay, we are still losing against range Naga. Okay, but War Giant is doing great. Don't get me wrong, he's surviving quite a lot. And during my Naga stress test, he was also in the top. Okay, so he's not bad. It's just, is he really worth replacing Paladin, for example? And as we know, as we could see, if you can run a 6-star Seraph, then you might consider that, because a Seraph utility is also decent. Okay, okay, so let's run it. Okay, so yeah, definitely in that case, against the range Naga, if your enemy is running range Naga, the offensive variant of Naga plus the War Giant does not work that well. Okay, with the range version, we had chances. Okay, we could win. Okay, so right, let's put it back together to the starting formation, and then move that to the melee Naga now. Okay, so let's see how we perform against the melee Naga. Okay. Okay, so the team with the Seraph has won. So once again, it really tells you that the utility of Seraph is quite important. Now we just swap that. Okay, so we lost again. And let's put in Seraph. Yeah, so we can definitely see that Seraph has more impact on the fight than the Paladin. And we know Paladin will get stronger eventually with Second Awakening of himself, but at the moment Seraph provides better support for the team, even against offensive Naga. So yeah, I believe this is it. This is against the offensive Naga. Righty, so let's play against Alamar now. Or should I use the range version first? Yeah, let's do range version first. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, let's do it. Okay. No, it's going to be the same. Okay, so with the range version, you actually need to move sister offline. The reason for that is obviously we don't have space here. We could do something like that, and it's going to work as well. But I prefer to bait enemy charges into sister because she's quite tanky. So if my enemy runs dungeon units, he will hit my sister and I'll just destroy them. This is the easiest way for me to win. If enemy Alamar is actually in and enemy charges are into my tanks, this is a way harder fight to win. So yeah, let's keep it this way. Obviously you can switch it around, okay, whichever works better for you. But for the sake of this, let's run it that way, okay? And we are running that against the offensive Naga. Okay, that's fine. This will be a quick test. And we're using offensive Naga as well. So 2 fights with offensive Naga and 2 fights with range Naga. And this will also show you the damage the Titan can do, okay? So he's here against Dartmouth. Obviously, the Dartmouth has a good backline damage, so it's worth actually looking at it. And I'm not sure why on the test server there's always this big gap between the Arcane Archer and the Arcane Eagle. But yeah, obviously the question is Titan able to survive the damage when it comes to the backline? And as we can see so far, it's not bad against Dartmouth. Okay, the Arcane Eagle actually died way faster than the Titan. And the damage is there. We could see we got the Dartmouth to the half HP, and the Thunder Giant is the top damage dealer here. But although we've done all that damage, look at these numbers, okay? That is 30 billion, let's say 60 billion, let's call it 70 billion damage against basically 50, 65, 66, and we lost the fight. All right, so all that damage was either easily healed or was not that impactful. Maybe similar to Forest Guard. I don't know. Didn't have really that much time to compare both of them. Right? So that was against the offensive Naga. Let's now play the range Naga on the enemy team. But yeah, the damage potential is there. Obviously, on test server, we can't really test PvE content. So we know that Titan was a king of the crypt for at least a year, maybe a year and a half. Okay, so he might be able to make a comeback over there to boost your crypt scores. Obviously, crypt content is not really that important right now, but for some of them, I might give them the see. We still the top damage dealer. The damage on that team is actually way higher than the damage on that team, but it is not making the difference. As we can see, the damage here is roughly spread. Over here, we got Thunder Giant doing the most. Well, Arcane Agent and Arcane Archer and Arcane Eagle are not performing too well, and Naga is on the same board. Okay, so we can expect like all the spells are going into the Thunder Giant because he's off the line, and maybe there's no range. Okay, so that was it. Let's now use a range Naga here on that team. And let's play the same fight and then switch to the offensive one. Okay, let's look at the backline. Okay, so as you can see, when I use range Naga, and this is what like all three casters are on top of all three range units are on top of each other. So this really makes if I use fast attacks here, I'll make it faster. Well, make it a significant damage boost. So I hope the fast attacks are actually ignoring the Titan. Okay, because if he's taking these spells, then obviously his damage will be higher. But these are the units that kill the backline, okay? And boom, we lost again. Okay, he's still top damage dealer. Everything here is spread evenly. Similar damage over here, but we still lose, okay? This damage is not killing units. And we know it's mostly AoE damage, so that's why it's so high, okay? So let's play the range Naga now. Sorry, the offensive Naga now. And compare it. Okay, if that makes sense. Okay, let's see if there's a point of actually putting that into our team. I mean, the ranged giant. Okay, so we lost all the fights. We got defeated. Okay, so while the damage is here, it is not game changing against this team. Okay, so that was against Dartmouth. Now let's try Alamar. Okay, so let's put a basic formation for Alamar. Let's not go over the board with the Devil, because Alamar wins with Dartmouth even without Devil. So yeah, let's run it. And I am going to use Red Dragon, but I will use altered form of the Black Dragon. Okay, I believe with Alamar this is the best way to play it, and you can put different tanks. I will, however, use Merald Dragon. I quite like this unit in the Alamar, and pair it with Priest to counter the healing, and BG as a good tank, not the best. Obviously, the Devil or even Paladin, the Devil is the best choice here. Okay, but I just want to avoid that because if I add the Devil, this will be a really one-sided fight. Okay, there's nothing Dartmouth can do. Okay, Devil. Now let's confirm we got the right domains. Yep, we got it. So yeah, let's run the caster version first since it's already here with the range. Okay, so this is our team. And then we'll use the offensive as well. Okay, so actually quite good. Half an hour for the Dartmouth. And now let's run that. Okay, so the question is, can Giant Titan survive burst of Alamar? Okay. Well, the AoE damage basically. How good he does it. Okay, so as we can see, the damage here is tremendous. We still do quite a lot of damage on the other side, don't get me wrong. You can see that, but it is just way too much. There's not enough healing to keep the backline alive. But it's not the Giant that is dying. It's Arcane Archer and everything else. He's the last man standing. So this cap works, okay? His survival is better than any other unit. And he still tops the damage meter. We can't win. We're using the Giant and we can't win, okay? Okay, maybe the problem is we can't shred tanks fast enough with range Naga. So let's add offensive Naga here. Okay, so yeah, that's right. Okay, we can't shred the tanks. Let's add Naga, who's the best at it. Maybe paired with the Giant's damage, we will be able to cut through the tanks. Okay, obviously I put them into the stronger tank on purpose. So I'm fighting against Emerald Dragon instead of Blackguard. So I'll switch the lines as well and see if that makes sense. Okay, so our backline is falling. This time around, Giant actually fall before Arcane Archer. So as we can see, there's just too much. Can you show BG and Paladin as tanks in dungeons? That's what I've done, didn't I? Oh, Paladin. Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I can do that as well. Paladin. Okay, so yeah, obviously he's died quite fast, but offensive Naga is doing damage there. Okay, so yeah, let's put Paladin instead of. Right, so you play Dartmouth as main, you play Alamar as second, and you freed up Paladin because you decided you go for the Titan. There we go. One way to go about it. Let's do that. And this time around, I'll actually switch the tanks around. Okay, so let's put ED. Well, actually, I think ED is way cheaper than Paladin with maxed out weapon. It only costs you diamonds. That's the thing. All these ultra rare units, if you think about it, if you started playing game recently, it's way cheaper for you to get the ultra rare units, commanders, champions, whatever, than the SSR units, which are still quite expensive. There's nothing we can do against Alamar. And that is, as I said before, the devil, okay? So this is the weaker version of the Alamar that people can run. Okay, we do quite a lot of damage. Okay, so the offensive Titan does not work, obviously, against Alamar, and as well against the Dartmouth. So let's drop it, okay? And let's try utilizing the tank one. Okay, so first let's start with this. Since we're still losing, I'm not going to improve the Alamar team, and we'll run that at the moment. I'll switch them in the next fight. Okay, so let's think about the cost of the maxed out second awakening of the Giant, and I'm not even talking about maxed out planets right now. So we need a 6-star Giant. Let's say we want to do it from the scratch. Okay, so that is, let's say, about 90,000 diamonds. Then we want the first awakening. So we need the soul stones from using the pearls. So I would say that's like another, or maybe we go the box way. So that would be like another 90,000 diamonds. And then we need a weapon. So that's like what, 2000 mithril, which can only be purchased by, well, you can get it from events and you can get it from other things as well. But if you just want to purchase them, that is quite expensive. Okay, so yeah, I think this is way better, I would say, than the fight so far. I mean, the time was actually longer. Let's switch that. Yeah, let's continue that for so 2000 voids for the weapon, 2000 star souls for second awakening, and not to mention units token for 2A. Yeah, so that's what I'm talking. The price tag on the second awakening of SSI unit is way higher than the basic price of any champion or any ultra rare unit. Okay, so at the end I will just put one unit, okay, instead of that titan, and we'll see if I can win against Alamar. And if I do, the cost of that unit is 92,000 diamonds because it is a champion unit, okay? Yeah, plus time spent, Edison. This is what I'm trying to say, okay? So even if he works, the question is it worth it, guys? Okay, because the price tag is quite high, and this is the highest this unit will get, okay? There's no further improvements as far as we know for SSI units. Right, so that was it. Let's drop that because we know we had better results with Seraph instead of Paladin. So let's try it this way, and then we'll try the range Naga with the same setup. And at the end, I'll just replace that with something else. It is like in sustain, but it's not dying. How to say that? It's not usually the first back row unit to die. So the problem is the whole team is lacking healing with just that. Okay, so okay, we still lose, but yeah, not bad. Okay, so I think Seraph works well in that setup. Okay, anyway, so that was obviously only the defensive Naga. Sorry, offensive Naga. Let's run with the range Naga. Okay, let's revert these changes. And as I said before, maybe at the end Tal. That is not my focus at the moment. Okay, so this is what I want to do. And put the range Naga, right? Let's see if I got enough damage. No, really. Yeah, just nothing's working at the moment. Okay, 65 seconds, 46. Okay, so the damage is there, but obviously, so the second awakening of the Black Dragon is so annoying against Dartmouth. The Alamar HP is not moving, and the Alamar, I believe, has less power than my Dartmouth, okay? Tells you how one-sided these fights are usually when it comes to Alamar and Dartmouth. You either have to really outpower your opponent, or there's just no way. Well, there is, and I'll show you that way. Okay, so as you can see, he's not doing bad. Okay, the War Giant is doing good. It's just there's no winning against Alamar in this setup. Okay, and now Seraph. Well, if that is true what you said, Tal, that it makes sense because we're playing paper, rock, scissors here. So as long as there's a counter to everything, the game is in a healthy state. And this is what balance is all about. If we had a team that was winning against everything else, and there was no counter to it, that would be unhealthy. Okay, so not bad. Okay, but still no answer. Okay, so what I wanted to show you guys is obviously the Titan Second Awakening is costly as hell, and let's say if you're playing arena, you can spare doing what I'm going to do, and let's even do that. Well, no, first I'll show you one main. I'm not sure if it will work. But this is what I play currently, okay? And this is the only way I can beat Alamar. Oh yeah, Dartmouth is a queen of PvE. You can especially see that in Eternal Punishment and stuff. Right, so as you can see, I added Priest, who costs 92,000 diamonds. And let's see if I can win this fight. Okay, obviously I have an advantage now against Dungeon Team. I have an extra healer. And that's it. So instead of putting Giant, okay, I'm just talking arena wise here. So obviously, if you play in these PvP modes when you have to have 3 good teams, you can't spare Priest. But this is the only way I can beat Alamar right now is by using 2 healers. Okay, and yeah, if Alamar adds sister, he'll probably beat me. But this is my way to deal with Alamar right now. As a Dartmouth, okay, but it only works in the arena scenario since Duel of the Champions and stuff like that, okay. Now let's see if I boot Paladin, if I'm still able to win using that. If I am, then I'm really happy. Yeah, okay, I couldn't win in that situation. So let's switch the tanks. Okay, this will change the seed. Because AP is supposed to consistent. Okay, let's give it another go. So yeah, so using this war giant did not yield me a win even when I'm using priest compared to when I'm using paladin. So that is a big letdown. Okay, this is a big letdown because that means even if I'm playing against Alamar, I can't really get rid of paladin. He's essential because this team can beat that team, but without it I cannot. Yes, and the thing is, paladin doesn't have second awakening. So if you're torn between should I keep my resources for paladin or spend them on a giant and miss out on paladin, better save for paladin because this unit will only get stronger and we know how giant works right now. And see, even if I want to put a ranged giant in right now, I really can't. I can't afford anything. Well, actually I can. Okay, Judy. Okay, so Judy is something that I've not been running myself lately. So let's see if I can win without Judy in that case. So we're adding more damage on our side. We're losing some invincibility shield, and we're losing um, some buffs. But Fury, we should win. But as again, we can see obviously this Judy has a maxed out banner, which I don't have on global, so that's another big change. But yeah, as we can see, 76 seconds the Thunder Giant left, and the damage is so low. Right? But let's see. Okay, so Judy buffs the team. So what if I actually run 3 tanks? Okay, and this way. Right, so I don't have Judy anymore. That's fine. Okay, I'm still using 2 healers, just no Judy and no banner. Okay, this is the main thing. This Judy has a full maxed out banner. And let's see. If I have a chance against this Alamar, I'll be happy. If I don't stand a chance, then obviously there's no room for this giant here. And yeah. Okay, let's give it one more go. Let's give a chance to this giant. Let's switch the tanks. Nothing happened. Okay, so Tal is suggesting take off range Naga and put Judy. Okay, this is something I'll definitely not do on global, but let's try it. As I'm always open to any suggestions. Okay, still running 3 times. Okay, I could drop Paladin again, put offensive Naga, but obviously we know the range version works with that, so offensive will work as well. Okay, so again, it shows you how important, although we lost, it shows you how important and how effective the three in that sense, units from Castle, how important they are for the tower formation. There's just no space for War Giant against Alamar in any formation that I run. So if you're struggling with Alamar, this unit will not change that. Okay. So keep that in mind. Right, guys, so that's basically it. Okay, there's no point of dwelling into that unit anymore. Obviously, as a Dartmouth, if you're winning against everyone else. If you're not winning against everyone else, it's either they are really overpowering you, or you're just doing something wrong, as there's no other counter for Dartmouth right now. So yeah, so overall, I would say that while the unit is a solid unit, okay, the tank version is really good. It's not devil level, but it's stronger than most of the tanks, especially the second awakening tanks. It just does not have a place in the current Dartmouth team, which means that's pretty much it for that unit, unless Guardian Golem, which is going to have a link with the Giant, will really improve that unit. But we're talking a year from now. Okay, so a meta from a year in the future might be totally different, and this unit might just fall out of the grid. And as we know, well, from what I read about the Chinese version of the game, both Guardian Golem and Giant are not used by Darmeths as the Apocalypse units right now, so they just been benched, totally benched. So again, this is a high investment unit, much higher than any ultra rare unit, and it's not the greatest. Okay, it's still one of the best tanks in the game, but if you have to choose between Paladin and it, Paladin will be the better choice in the long term, and probably more versatile as well. So if you want to invest into that, of course, just go for it. I will probably invest into that, but the reason for that is I try to get all my tower units maxed out, and I was always a big fan of Giant, Titan, and whatever in any of the Heroes of Might and Magic games. But I will only max it out after I maxed out for, but only after I max out my Paladin first. Additionally, the next champion unit will be crossover unit. I forgot the name, but I don't know what will be the champion. Okay, I don't know if they're going to treat it the way they've done with Fallen Angel and Forest Guard. Probably, hopefully, because I don't want them to delay Light Dragon and any other unit anymore. Because we're coming to that place in a game where everyone is playing commander units and champion units and whatever. And if your faction doesn't have them, it's a really bad place to be at. Or they're going to be released Medicore like Rakshasa. Rakshasa is a good unit, it's just not. Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see, okay? Because I hope they will not make it crap, because if they make it crap, that means they wasted so much development time on nothing, basically on cash grab. Okay, because the unit looks cool. The unit looks cool on the, what is it called, splash art or whatever. Yeah, in that Horn of Abyss, it looks amazing. So I am hoping it will be good. If this unit can be used for at least a year, in my, for example, because I don't think it will fit into a Dartmouth team unless it's really OP. But if it can fit into my Inferno team, or yeah, basically in my secondary team and make a difference, then yes, I will get it. But if it doesn't, then what's the point? Because it will get booted eventually, and that will be 100k diamond trap, as Edison said. Yeah. Yeah, so Tal, basically, what I want to do and what I actually mentioned at the start of the year is I want to start releasing these videos, what's coming up in 2024, 23 for each faction. And yeah, Fortress Future doesn't look too bright with what's coming. But obviously, we don't know. Maybe some of these units will fit in quite well. Maybe Typhon will be the answer for your prayers, and it will be replacing your flower or something. I don't know. We don't know. Okay, we obviously this game is a little bit different than the Chinese version, and yeah, hopefully developers will make cool changes. Because the only thing I am worried about is the Eternal Adamantite, because it will be required for both Commander, Champion, and Feather units as well, and it's so scarce. And as you can see, we are running like 7 ultra rare units in our main formation, and that is going to take lots of money or couple years of saving to get it for your main team. And I'm not even talking about the secondary teams, as the units will definitely start falling off without these new features. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, guys, let's do the question. Still got 5 minutes, so let's do it. And obviously, the question will be very simple because I just want to give you these diamonds and don't want to hold you too long today. So yeah, the question is, what faction does the War Giant belong to? Okay, I see I got 5 correct answers. Let me just quickly close everything that is not needed. And let's get your answers. Okay. Right, so the correct answer is Tower, yes, obviously, my favorite faction. So Andy Fang was the first one, Last Love is the second one. Tal is the third one. Edison is the fourth. And now Puck is the fifth. Okay, thank you everyone who participated. Obviously, I released a video really early compared to what we are usually do, so you had a chance to look into it, and quite a lot of people actually skipped the stream, which is okay. But I will be doing the short videos before stream as well. That's the plan I'm trying to do. Need to go. Thanks for the stream. Looking forward to the next. Yeah, and obviously I will do the summary basically of what I've done today, because I think that like 7-8 minute video is enough for that unit. So yeah, I'll definitely do that as well. Let me just quickly look if I got all your data, guys. Obviously, I definitely got the data of all the guys that are always here with me. Yeah, why can't I copy Andy's name? There we go, Andy. Okay, I got you as well. NA158. Thank you, Edison. Thank you for staying, guys. Yeah, and I'll obviously see you next week. I'm just gonna finish that tile 6. Edison D. There you go, Asia. And Vlaslav, EU20 representative. Yeah, at least one person from my server. Let's get it some diamonds constantly. Alright guys, thank you and stay safe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.